Hello and welcome back to this week's video. And I'm back here working in this shrub border, rhododendron border. I started working around this area a couple of weeks ago, re-establishing the path and also taking out some hellebores. And today I've been taking out some shrubs that don't really belong here any longer, or I don't want them there any longer. And it's these monster size prunus shrubs, cherry laurel. Originally I had a few in here as a windbreak, but I don't need them now because we have a hedge running around the shade garden which is behind this area. So they need to come out. So let me just turn the camera around and I'll show you what I've been doing. So we're in the new shade garden and this is where I have been trimming all of the brambles. Two reasons. One, so we can get the tree taken away that fell down a couple of weeks ago. And the second reason is to remove this huge cherry laurel shrub, which is totally in the wrong spot. And you can see all of these piles of debris. I've removed one cherry laurel from in here, so that's opened up a lovely big gap for new shrubs. And this border, this rhododendron border, will then be seen on two sides from in here and also running along the path. So better get on with it and get this out now, get this removed. So it's several days later. We've had quite a few days of snow followed by rain, and it's now thankfully just a bit of a drizzly day and it's quite mild again. You can see how far I've got. Taken out one very large laurel shrub, but I'm still left with two behind me. But I'm going to keep those two and I'm going to create a hedge out of them. The reasoning being just through this gap here is a drop down to the bottom of the quarry. This is the cliff side, and it's about 40 to 50 feet down. So I do need to keep these so nobody actually falls over the edge. So I'm going to reduce these to about 2/3 and create a hedge. So they will stay, although much lower. Now to this one that I took down, we took down, I should say. Why have I left it like this? The reason being, I think it's a nice shape, and hopefully once we chainsaw through the very bottom of it, I can use this stump in the stumpery down the bottom of the quarry. I think it'll be a good feature down there. So that's where I'm at, but today I'm going to remove a few rhododendrons, which unfortunately have suffered because of this shrub actually growing over the top of them. So that's what I'm going to do next. So this is the first rhododendron that I'm going to try and relocate. And just be aware if you're moving shrubs this time of year, don't do it if it's frosty or if you've got bad weather forecast. Wait until it's a mild period. I've got rain forecast for quite some time. That's why I'm moving it now. I've got a small window today where it's actually stopped raining. And I'm trying to take as much root ball as possible. We'll see what it looks like as to whether I retain it and keep it. Hopefully it's going to go down to the bottom of the quarry. But it's coming out really easily because the ground is so wet. So let's see what it looks like and see if it's worth keeping or not. It's very tangled in another rhododendron. Just going to shake it loose a bit. That bit's come off the other one. Not quite sure how much is this actually going to work because it doesn't appear to have too much left on it. And I'll turn it around that way so you can see it. It's got more dead than alive, so let's trim off all the dead and see what we're left with. So this is what it looks like. I've actually removed all of the dead branches in the middle, and it's not a great specimen to actually move, I must admit, but it has a lot of new growth on it, so I'm quite hopeful that once it gets some light, it'll shoot away from the bottom. So I'll bring you in a bit closer so you can see the new growth. So this branch here has got new growth all the way along it and more coming through. And similarly here, look at this, you can actually see the new growth coming through on all of the branches here as well. So I'm really hopeful that once it gets some light, it'll actually just shoot away. That's the hoping anyhow. So let me take it down to the bottom of the quarry and plant it. So this is where I'm going to plant it. And if I sound out of breath, it's because I am. I've dug the hole already because it's so muddy and it's quite steep here. So I'm just going to place it in the planting hole without falling down the bankside. And if it was in a garden border as such, you probably wouldn't keep this. I think you would just bite the bullet and ditch it. But for me, I've got such a large space, don't have a budget for all of this work, so I need to keep everything that I can. And after it's flowered, because it's actually got some flower buds on it, what I'll do is I'll actually start pruning it back very gently, one stem at a time per year. Cut it back because they don't like to be pruned very hard, rhododendrons. And we'll see how it goes. So I'll fill this planting hole and I'll call it a day. Thanks for watching and I hope to see you soon.